If you thought number 8 was bad, this is even worse. It is awful, this question. So it looks again like maybe we can arithmetize because there's just so many things and we're asked about A and B and the X probably then doesn't matter. But unfortunately, we're going to use the X in a weird way. We're going to require the X as a way of kind of keeping track of the structure of the equation. All right, so if you tried arithmetizing and it failed, this might be a fine case where you just skip the question, move on, get some other points, and take a random guess, because it's a lot of work for just 10 points. But if you need to figure out how to do it, and you're still kind of looking at this and completely confused, I think the one thing that everyone recognizes is that we can do some foiling here. So get back to basics is our strategy of like, if I don't know what's going on, I should do like the most basic thing I can see. And so I see that the left side has got the parentheses and the right side doesn't. Now, I can't factor the right side because it's a cube and it's going to be annoying. And honestly, I'd much rather FOIL than factor anyway. So I'm going to FOIL this by kind of distributing. So this is tough. We got to keep track of everything. So first I multiply AX times all the parts. So that's going to be 5AX cubed minus ABX squared plus 4AX. Okay. Now I do the 3 times all those pieces. So that's plus 15x squared minus 3bx plus 12. Whew, it's a nightmare. Now, normally we would try to combine like terms, right? We would try to say, oh, here's an x squared term and here's an x squared term. But the problem is that the a and the b are getting in the way. They're not going to let us combine them. But I know that this is supposed to be equal to this thing up here. And that has an x squared term. It's negative 9x squared. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to align the terms based on the number of x's so that they all kind of match up, right? So the first piece is that at the end, you should notice there's a 12 on both, right? So that worked out nicely. There's no variables. And the other easy one is to note that 20x cubed and 5ax cubed are also the only cubed terms. They line up. So I can make a short little equation outside of the big equation. And this is why we couldn't get rid of the x, because we need this x to show us that 5a is equal to 20. So that's what we're doing here. So that means a must be 4. If you need to, go back, rewind a little bit, and rewatch what I just said if that confuses you. This is hard. It's okay to be confused. This is very difficult. But I'm basically using the structure of the equation based on the exponent on the x. I'm using that to help me figure out what these variables have to be, what the a and the b must come out to. So in this case, I've got a little bit of a solution here. I got that a is 4. So now there's a bunch of places I can go. I can move around to some of these other pieces. You've got some options here. Whether you go with the x squareds or the x's, I don't know which is better. I already underlined the x squareds. Let's go with that. So now we're going to look at the fact that this term and this term together are supposed to be negative 9. Right? On the right side, there's 1x squared. On the left side, there's 2. They're supposed to condense into 1, but because of the b now, we can't condense them. So let me drop the x squareds. Let's focus just on the numbers, the coefficients. So negative ab plus 15 must be negative 9. And I just found that a is 4, so I can make that substitution. And now we just solve by subtracting 15. Negative 4b is equal to negative 24. and divide by -4, and we get b is equal to 6. Okay, so if b is 6, a is 4, they want the value of ab. That's going to be 4 times 6, which is 24, which is the answer. Really hard, really, really hard. But the SAT has been doing this a lot recently. They like these questions where the structure of the equation is what we use to better understand what's happening. So normally, the reason we can arithmetize is that that doesn't matter, and we can just go right into like getting rid of the variables that are irrelevant and just solving. This is an exception, and we just need a way to deal with it. So hopefully, if you see what I see at the beginning, you can kind of get that first ball rolling the same way I did, right? I saw that there's this stuff in parentheses, and I know from other math that generally you want to multiply that out. So I did it. I didn't know why it would help me. I just did it anyway. And so it doesn't matter if I know what step 2 is. I'm going to do step 1 if I've got an idea what it might be. And hopefully it reveals what step 2 is for me. And I think that that's what happened here. A lot of difficult SAT questions are about trying step 1 even if you don't know step 2. You got to have faith in yourself that you'll figure it out. But don't think it up here. Get it on the page. Your brain will see things it didn't see before and hopefully be able to continue. That's fine. I stumble my way to answers all the time. It works.